Imaging. So imaging, has anyone had an imaging before, like an MRI? I know a lot of people have had x-rays, right? X-rays are imaging to the bones. It does not show any soft tissue. Whereas MRI is where you have to go into that tube. A lot of people are claustrophobic of the MRIs. But MRIs show soft tissue injuries. So they would show more like tendons, ligaments, whereas X-ray or radiograph does not show that. So, hey Noel, thanks for jumping on. Hey Jack, how are you? What are you up to? So with imaging though, I get a lot of questions like, they have an injury and they're like, should I get an image? And really, with imaging, there's not a whole lot of value with imaging unless it's like a sudden acute injury where maybe you had a car accident or a sudden fall. Normally that's indicative of imaging, such as X-ray, maybe MRI, but they would probably definitely do an X-ray first. But if it's like something that has come on slowly and it's been a chronic issue, imaging is normally not indicated. I know a lot of people are worried. They want to see the image, but you know, image. There's really a big problem with imaging. It's really just a picture in time, right? It's just a snapshot of time of you just laying down and then taking a picture of maybe that knee joint, right? So I mean, that's one picture in space, but at that moment. But what about the image? How would the image look if we were squatting, right? It would be very different. So it's easy to say, you know, these images are of value, but if it's only one picture in time and space, it's not the whole picture, right? Like if we go into a crime scene and we took a picture of the crime scene, we wouldn't know the whole picture of the story without taking more images all around, right? So that's really the issue with imaging. Another issue is with a lot of studies out there. There's many studies out there that show people who volunteer and they go into these MRIs, right? And they say they go into these studies and they have no history of back pain at all, right? But they do images, they do an MRI. And you know what? A good proportion of those people who have had no history of back pain at all, they actually have positive findings of, say, a herniated disc, right? This is true. There's many studies out there that show what would be considered a significant finding of a disc herniation, right? Disc herniations, like, sound so bad, but yet this person who volunteered for the study has never complained about back pain. So that's why we got to be really careful of these images, because it's easy to blame reason for the pain when it might not be really the whole picture and it's not the whole story. I mean, we're just looking again at the picture. We're not watching the whole person move. So, and really what value does the image bring? Because say you do the image, really the options are, if you're going to do the image, if it's bad, it's probably more likely surgery or go back to conservative care. So, I mean, even with the conservative care, there's a lot of the times, you know, they run through the motions, and then you go back to the doctor. You say, I'm continuing to have pain, but you know, it just gives them reason to go into surgery, because you have to have an attempt of conservative care, such as rehab or even injections, in order for insurance to accept the authorization to do the surgery. That's scary. I mean, there's a lot of people out there too that I've worked with personally. You know, they have positive images of positive findings of meniscus tears in their knee, and you know what? Even when they get that image, it scares them even more. Now that they know that there is a tear in their knee, it worries them more. But yet, when I work with them, I'm able to get that better and have them, you know, even though they have this meniscus tear that's shown on the image, they're able to get better and go back to their running, lunging, and squatting. For the knee, that's usually the case. That's the issues. But so it's just something to think about, because trust me, there's a lot of people out there that it's a business. They're anxious to to run you through the system and then give you a invasive procedure, whereas you really don't need it. So who's on here? Hey Mavs, thanks for coming on. So yeah, I wanted to ask that question. Do you guys bake, and how do I make these wrinkles on these rolls from forming? How do I keep it smooth? I want to perfect my rolls. So there's my roll right here. I have some cheese and some jelly. But yeah, again, has anyone on here had an image done? Have they had an MRI? How was your experience with an MRI? And even when you did get an MRI, what was the end result? Was there option of going back to conservative care, or was it surgery? But just think about that study, because it's a true study. I mean, there's many studies out there, and it's you'd be surprised. I mean, disc herniation on people who don't have pain. So something to think about. If you're someone that is leaning towards surgery but don't want it, or even someone that has this new issue, don't want to be rung around through the system and don't want to go through all that bullshit and just get to the root cause and solve the root cause of the pain, just direct message me and we can talk and figure out what's going on and why you might not be having the results you're looking for. So, hey Maribel. So, I'm about to put these in the oven, almost done. Putting the breadcrumbs. Let me just show you real quick. I mean, it's definitely not, it's not pretty. There you go. So, but just wanted to share that today because it's real. There's a lot of people out there confused on what they could do to help them with their pain. So even if you know someone that might benefit from this video and learn about, there's a lot of people out there with positive findings on the image, but yet they never had pain before. And really, conservative care is really the best way, because it's either conservative care or surgery, rehab. Like total knee replacements. It's scary. You don't hear about the stories of like when your body rejects this the prosthetic material that they put into the knee, the different joints. But just want to share that. I'm excited for the weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. Let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. I'm just curious on the comments, and then I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.